Is it live? Is it live?
From Ruffino's on Highland Road, welcome to the Friday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. I'm Charles Hannigrove, Jimmy Ott, Jordan Kinch is back in the studio. And we got Troy Macker's with us today, Bruce Marshall with us today. Chris Massaro with us today.
Yeah. We're entering hot on Fridays.
We're entering this this stretch here, Jimmy, that for about the next, 4 weeks, most of the days we're going to have wall-to-wall basketball. This week, next week, the tournament that starts the week after that. We're going to have first four on Tuesday and Wednesday. So this is like basketball utopia for the next few weeks.
The next week is the week I usually go to Las Vegas. So next Wednesday and Thursday are the busiest days. Friday's a good one too. Friday night is still very good, but some of the tournaments that end, like the Big East on Saturday, they play Friday PM only.
Yeah,
I mean, or night only. They don't have the afternoon games because they're down to the semifinals on Friday and the finals on Saturday. But the others, so Thursday is the busiest. It's the busiest day of the year.
Next Thursday, conference championship week is the busiest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's way busier than the first 2 days of the tournament.
Sure.
Those are 16 games. Yeah. No, it's a lot, man. You gotta. You don't have to bet them all, Charlie. But,
I'm aware. Believe me, I'm aware.
But it's so much fun. So. We'll be at Walk-Ons next Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be back here on Friday, but we'll also be hitting the Queen a little bit on Wednesday, Thursday, the next week as well. So looking forward to it.
Men's basketball, the women's basketball tournaments are going on this week. LSU caught a little bit of a break last night when Florida upset Alabama.
I watched Florida. I took Florida.
Yeah.
The little guard had a great game, man.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch any of the game. I was watching. I was watching my game against Michigan State go kapooey on Iowa in the second half.
You didn't get 7?
I did. But,
okay, so the push was
and look, the three at the horn.
You didn't middle at any point.
No.
Yeah, there was plenty of chance. Middle 3 different times. So push the original bet and cash 3 middles.
And just a fraction of a second, the 3 at the end.
Yeah.
I thought
it was good.
I didn't. And look, it would have benefited me greatly if it had been, but I'm like, I don't think that counts.
No,
it was close.
Because humans and them were on again, and they didn't give it a chance either. So I was kind of half, was watching multiple games or kind of doing, but I was like, I think I just saw it in flight.
And it banked off the glass, and it was late.
The second one, they had another one in the comeback,
right?
Because they were down 17.
Yes, it had gone. Man, they were up 7 at the half, and you could see it sliding back. It was Michigan State got on a real tear there, and Iowa couldn't buy a bucket.
Once it turned, it was bad. I did not care for the Michigan State guard getting in the face of the Iowa player, basically FU, did not get teed up, did not get reprimanded by Izzo at all. You had to catch that, huh?
I did. I also caught, what led Iowa back in to have a chance to cover was Michigan State had a breakaway with about 30 seconds to go, and they went in to try to dunk the ball, and the ball went off the back of the rim.
Yeah, that was the kid I like, Richardson. Yeah, the freshman.
Yeah. It was a classic. Pull it out. It was 10 points at that stage, and he said, I'm going to go in and dunk it. It went off the back iron. Iowa gets the ball, goes back down and scores.
So, yes, but they weren't a threat to come back anyway.
Not to win. No, not to win. It was Izzo got on him because
you don't do that. If it's a little closer, then it could.
Yeah. They weren't going to win. Iowa wasn't going to win at that point. He was that was a teaching moment.
McCaffrey done?
They seem to think so. Yeah.
Should be.
They seem to think so.
It's bad.
He came out and basically made it clear that he's not going to retire. I think what they would have preferred was if he had retired.
If he's saying that, Charlie, he's telling you that they've kind of asked him to step aside.
Exactly. Yeah. That's loosely translated as I'm not retiring. Pay me my money.
Clark, this is an 8-footer. Lowry,
Yeah,
one of the 3 consensus bets, is
right.
popping, man.
I'm,
He's
I'm
got
not
the
rooting
lead.
for. I'm not rooting for Wyndham Clark. If that's,
I'm rooting for both.
Okay, well, I'm only rooting for one.
First round winner yesterday at 45-1.
Was he really? But it was a.
Well, the PM golfers had the wind advantage.
Yeah, they did. He had a beautiful tee shot at 18 that got him to 5.
Yeah.
He allowed
Lowry and McIlroy did not.
No,
Yeah.
both of them. Lowry in particular shanked his drive, but yeah, nice recovery to make the bogey. So, and he's got the outright lead right now at 7 under.
Because Burns had such a horrible day, a horrible start yesterday, and then he kind of caught fire. But they did show his 18th, and they said, "Man, you can't. That's a bad bogey when you hit that the driver in the fairway on 18."
Yeah.
So they kind of got on him a little bit, and man, he was right on the borderline. And now he is just blistering today. He's as hot as anybody. Him and JT and Lowry, probably the hottest golfers on the course today. So playing much, but the winds died down. It was very windy yesterday.
Makes all the
Gusts up
difference.
to 30 miles an hour yesterday.
All the difference.
Morning.
Let me get back on that because you watched a little bit of this game. I didn't. You say you watched a little bit of Florida and Alabama, the women's game last night.
Yeah.
This was a team that LSU went to Gainesville and blew out in the regular season. They won by 17. So they catch a little bit of a break today. Not that it matters all that much. LSU's probably a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. Unless they were to win this thing, and winning it without Flage is not likely. They should win today and probably will lose tomorrow when they play Texas. That's the most likely scenario, and that does not slide them past a 3 seed. And Mulkey acknowledged that, made it very clear. I'm resting my star, and we'll have her for the NCAAs because this is not going to affect our seeding very much. But this does give them an easier, because Alabama beat them last week in Tuscaloosa. It was an overtime game, and that would have been a much tougher game than Florida.
Right.
We'll see. It was a 17-point win for
Tigers.
Tigers back in
Gainesville. A line on the LSU game. It's not out yet because of the late finish with Florida and Alabama.
Right.
Texas is 9.5, 10.5 over Ole Miss. But no, haven't seen that one yet. Big one's out to Auburn, Alabama. That's 8.5 is out already. So
you have.
I talked to EJ yesterday. I said, "Boy, it's gonna be ugly." I said it's gonna get ugly. I think Alabama gonna get killed.
Auburn waiting on them.
What?
Auburn's waiting on them.
They exhaled this week.
Mm-hmm.
I says, well, does Auburn really want to, do they have any incentive, in their final game, with everything set? Alabama?
Yeah.
They won't beat the brakes off of them, bro.
Right.
They will. They had their exhale. They had their party. The party didn't stop on the plane, the plane ride back from Rupp Arena. The great video. Isn't it good to see they care about their regular season title? Isn't that cool?
I think it's great. I'm surprised that it happened a little bit. You know how coaches are. They're like, okay, that's great, but we got to move on to the next thing. Pearl let them breathe it in a little bit to the point where he was actually saying, hey, I'm rooting for my old school here, Tennessee, and
Charlie,
thank
you didn't go to that LSU Vanderbilt game, huh?
No, I had a wedding.
They won it outright.
No, I had a wedding that night.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
We
had it on its wedding reception, but my daughter got married that night. So I wasn't there.
I'm just saying.
I remember
it was the Skylar Mays and the
Wade Sims.
The Sims, the Sims family, getting up there and cutting, but it was but it was a big deal to win it outright. It was a big deal. Now they had the theatrics going on with the Wade and Oliva and all that, and I mean it was Shakespearean as far as the theater going on in that building. But just to win, it was a big. They cared.
Right.
Oh, they wanted that outright. Yes, indeed, man. And now this league is so much better. Man, that's a little bit. That I'll say a little bit too because I'm talking about it. It's noteworthy that they showed the video, or maybe we just got access to a little piece of that video that we normally wouldn't. It's a good thing about camera phones.
Yeah.
We can actually get some video posted on social media that we could enjoy and share. They could share with us, but yeah, a little bit, but not. I mean, it's a big deal, man. Everybody knows how tough this league is,
and
everybody knows
that's a real accomplishment to have won this league. If they go to the NCAA tournament and they get upset, that's what it'd be the season's remembered for. But for the moment, give yourself a little bit of credit for accomplishing that, because it's really something significant. To me, and somebody's going to get credit for winning this SEC tournament next week, because somebody's got to win it, regardless of how much they're putting into it. Somebody's going to have 3 really good wins.
I like
3
your
days.
Angle.
Which
I like the get past the ones that are set.
Yeah,
and look to one of them.
right.
Was it Mississippi State that won last year, or got all the way to the final?
They made the final last year, I think.
But they cared a lot more.
Yeah, they did. Like, I could see
Florida beat them, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. Kentucky, who's in 8th place in the league.
Absolutely.
Somebody like that.
They trying to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Missouri.
Right.
Missouri, got to be A&M.
Whoever wins this thing is going to put 3 quad 1 wins on their resume, and that ain't nothing.
No, but it's all, the other way. I mean, Auburn's going to blast Alabama tomorrow. They're getting their A game. You're getting their A game. Getting Alabama's A game too. This damn 7-game stretch. We when I was in Tuscaloosa, I'm like, look at this damn schedule. This last 7 games. I mean, and it's been tough, and it might be shaped. It might be looked at completely different had they held on like they should have against Tennessee, right?
Sure.
I mean, you lose to Florida. Florida's just better. Sorry. They're better. They're more complete. They are way better rebounding and defending than you are. And they're almost as capable on the offensive end.
Florida's a monster, which is why my other pick in this tournament, besides Kentucky, Missouri. They've gone to Gainesville and win. But that win looked good at the time, much less now.
What if Golden had LSU's team this year? Would he be in trouble?
I would say
winning cures.
It's a wonderful deodorant.
I would say it cures everything, but it cures a lot.
They know about that at the University of Florida as well as anywhere.
I mean, we're suffering. We're suffering because our coach, we went this route. We went with this contract, and we went with this thing because our coach paid players, or whatever. A little bit more common than what Golden was doing. Would you say?
Yes, absolutely, way more common.
Yeah, it was a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
Hey, we're over here at Ruffino's Crawfish Cakes, Crawfish season challenge.
Lent.
That's right. That's right. First Friday and Lent. Panko crusted crawfish cakes, tarragon cream sauce, roasted corn and tomato salsa with the pickled sweet peppers, shrimp and truffle pizza. How about that? Gulf shrimp, Alfredo base, asparagus, mushrooms, and wild arugula. Our entree features tonight and today and throughout the weekend: lobster mac and cheese, smoked cheddar and Gruyere Mornay, Trinity lobster claw meat topped with toasted panko. The suggested wine pairing is a Bayou Chardonnay out of Napa, Pompano in Papillote. What that? Fish in a bag, pompano in the bag, sun-dried tomato, basil, red bell pepper, and olive oil served with a side of spaghetti aglio. Those suggested wine pairings: a Pine Ridge Chenin Blanc out of Napa. And we remind everybody, we always do our Ruffino's Old Elk, Ruffino's exclusive hand-picked single-barrel select bourbon. And how about this? Dirty chai tea, espresso, vanilla. Barry loves making those. Vanilla vodka, brown sugar simple with the froth milk, one of our specialty drinks that we have on our specialty menu here at Ruffino's.
Live at Ruffino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Your old or broken phone can let you down when you need it most.
Perfect.
But at Verizon, trade in any old phone from our top brands and get the most for it, up to $2,000 in value, for an amazing new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence and a new line on My Plan, and iPad and Apple Watch Series 10. That's like a 3-for-1. And you can get it on any plan. At Verizon, trade in your old phone for a brand new iPhone 16 Pro, iPad, and Apple Watch. The other guys won't give you that. Visit Verizon.com today. Additional terms apply. Service plan required for Apple Watch and iPad. Up to $2,000 value based on iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watch.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, $149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. They got hidden fees, that ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, because this deal's for a limited time. $149
for tax prep that's $149 or less. Hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Need more space? Workbox LLC has the storage solutions you can count on. Whether you're a homeowner, commercial contractor, or industrial business, we have the space for you. Our secure, versatile storage units are ready to meet your needs. Contractors, keep your site organized and efficient. Store your materials with us and access them anytime you need. Businesses, industries of any size, Workbox LLC is your trusted partner for flexible, safe storage. Workbox 343-4886 and workboxllc.com.
Looking for a driving experience that goes beyond the ordinary? At Genesis of Baton Rouge, luxury is more than just a word. It's our promise to you. From cutting-edge technology to premium craftsmanship, Genesis vehicles are designed for those who demand excellence. Whether it's performance, comfort, or style, we offer it all, tailored just for you. At Genesis of Baton Rouge, your journey starts with a personalized buying experience. Let us introduce you to the future of driving. Visit us today at Genesis of Baton Rouge, where luxury and performance meet, on Airline across from Women's Hospital, or at genesisbatonrouge.com.
Getting got your heart rate up? Know when it's time to see a cardiologist. Every second counts, no matter the playing field. Call Cardiovascular Institute of the South today to stay in the game. Learn more or schedule at cardio.com.
Take a swing around the parish to one of Breck's 5 golf courses, 2 championship courses, Santa Maria and Beaver Creek, and 3 courses for the more casual golfers, the popular 18-hole Webb Park, and 2 9-hole courses, City Park and the newly renovated J.S. Clark. Breck's courses are designed to challenge every level of golfer, from beginner to pro. So come and get into the swing of things. Book your tee time online or find a course near you at golf.breck.org. That's golf.breck.org.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus, $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
For service you can feel, you gotta call Capital City Comfort.
Spring is here, and the experts at Capital City Comfort want to guarantee your comfort with a new energy-efficient Rheem HVAC system. This spring, take advantage of special financing and expert installation on all new units.
For service you can feel, you gotta call Capital City Comfort.
Visit capitalcitycomfort-br.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing.
Parishbuilt.com.
Live at lunch with Otten Hanny from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 1045 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Remember, the show's available on demand, LouisianaSports.net and 1045ESPN.com. Handycast podcast coming your way on Monday following LSU's last non-conference baseball series.
All right, let's check out with my boy Chris Massaro. PB Chris, see if he's in San Diego or if he's in Las Vegas yet. Chris, where you at, brother?
We're in Las Vegas, Jimmy. We drove over yesterday. A little chilly yesterday on the way over. There was some snowflakes as we crossed the Nevada border. Yeah. You know when you map out your trip and you plug it into Google and it tells you, this traffic, that traffic. But yesterday when I plugged it in at 9 o'clock in the morning, it told me a winter advisory may affect my travel. So I was a little nervous, but we got here okay. We got here all safe and sound.
Hey, let's continue a conversation. Now let me ask you first. Are you like most? Are you staying for the first weekend of March Madness too?
No, I do not do the first weekend in Vegas. I feel like it's too early to be at the book. There's too many games at 9 a.m. I'd rather be on my couch. I like to come for the championship week, and then I go back, and then I come back for the Sweet 16 Elite 8 weekend where the games tip off at 1 o'clock. You know, if you want to play golf in the morning, you can, or you can just get a little more time to, get adjusted for the games. Rushing down to the book at 8 in the morning, it's just that's just not my style.
Next Thursday, and I usually go to Vegas but there's some. We've been through a little bit the last couple of months, but anyway, not making it this year. But I usually come in on that Wednesday, sort of midday. But that Thursday is the busiest day of the college basketball season, midweek. I mean, it's because everybody's playing 4 games. The big boys. The Big East on Friday was only playing 2 games at night. Because they play their final on Saturday. So, and some of the others, but I think it's great. And it's just, look, everybody should do March Madness in Vegas once, but it is a little oversold, so to speak. I mean, it is.
Yeah, no, I've done the first week a couple of times, and it just seems I prefer just the Sweet 16 week is awesome because it's the better teams you don't have to rush. There's not so much nonsense going on. And then the championship week is, it's like the little gem, the hidden gem that's not becoming so hidden anymore. But I love it. You got all the big boy tournaments going at once. There's games all day long from the beginning of the day to, you don't have, and if you miss a game at 9 a.m., you're not sitting there. It's not a big deal. But, I don't want to miss a NCAA tournament game at 9 a.m. It's just, I just prefer the championship week followed by the Sweet 16 Elite 8 weekend.
Gotcha. All right, let's continue a conversation that we had yesterday. Myself, Charlie, Max, Matt Humans with us as well. And as far as trying to eliminate teams in the that have a shot, and the 3 that we debated on yesterday were Michigan State, Houston, Texas Tech, and Alabama. Auburn, Duke, Florida. I think all of us agree. You agree as well. They got a shot to win it all. But of those 4 that I mentioned, is it one of those that or one or more that you say, no, they can maybe get to the Final Four, they can maybe make a run, but they can't win it all?
Yeah, I would say, Michigan State, just because of the Izzo factor and their top 5 in defense, I'm not sold on them because they just don't shoot the 3 as well. And I mean, last night was a perfect example. They get way behind. Somehow they come storming back and get the win over Iowa. I had Iowa +7, so I wasn't too happy with the push after having the big lead in the first half. I'm not sure if Michigan State can score enough and shoot the 3 as well. But you have to weight the defense more than the offense when it comes to this time of year. So as we all know, that metric that's been accurate the last 25 years, you have to be top 20 Ken Palm offense, top 20 and Ken Palm defense. The only year was that 1 year with UConn. So this year right now, as it stands, there's only 4 teams that are in the top 20: Duke, Auburn, Houston, Florida. Tennessee's 21st in offense, but you got to weight it stronger because they're first in defense. So I would say Tennessee has a shot. I'm not a big fan of Houston. I feel like they've been waiting to get beat all year. And the last couple of weeks has really shown it. Like their offense is this. I don't even know what you call it. It's just they don't shoot the 3 very well. They're just so long on defense that they cause so many turnovers. But I don't know if you get them versus a team like Florida. I think Florida would dominate Houston. I would think Duke would, a team that plays great defense against Houston. Houston would have a tough time scoring more than, say, they would have to beat Duke in a game like 66-64. I don't see them holding Duke down to that. So I don't think I have futures on Houston. Obviously you have to because they fit the metric and they're a good coach team and they're great on defense, but I don't think they're going to be able to score enough to actually win it.
Let's hold on, Chris. Let's start with Houston because that's mine. That's where I understand the metrics. I see it. I recognize it. Samson good. They can't win it all, in my opinion. And I know they're clear number 1 team. First of all, they won 2 games, key games, where the teams had 30 and 31 points missing, in Texas Tech and Iowa State. I'm not sure if they win those games, if they were at full strength. The other thing is I recognize the metrics. I don't see an improved offensive team. I know this, and they shoot close to 40% from three. And that, man, they still. And the difference between Michigan State and them, Michigan State will run an offense and they'll get backdoor cuts and they'll get an easy bucket and easy, and things like that. Houston doesn't do that, and they're well coached, but not on the offensive end.
Yeah, they're like a Texas A&M type of offense where they're getting these loose balls and offensive rebounds.
Yes,
and they get these short little putbacks against inferior frontline teams. And I just think when you get closer to the end, you're not going to be facing inferior frontline teams. And I also think the Big 12 might be a little down this year. I mean, a lot down, to be honest with you. Like you said, the two big Houston, they played Iowa State without their best guys. They played Texas Tech without their best guys. And then the other game against Texas Tech, they lost when two of Texas Tech's players were kicked out of the game. So it's just not as impressive. I'm looking for some longer shots, which I have Maryland at some big numbers.
Okay.
I just took a piece of BYU to make the Final Four just because they got an NBA coach and they have NBA players. So there's some different angles. I mean, right now you can't bet Duke or Auburn. It's just if you don't have them already at higher numbers, you can't put them in. I still think there's some value on Florida at 8-1 because I think if you watch Florida when they're on their game, they are by far they're in that same category as Duke and Auburn. And if you watched it the other night versus Bama kept going up and Florida never panicked and they just kept grinding away. Next thing you know, Florida's up by 10 points, and that's on the road. So this Florida team, they got great guard play. They got bigs that can pass and shoot. They're the most impressive team, I think, outside the top two, and you can still get them at 8-1, 8.5-1. I think of the big dogs, that's the only one you can still bet.
Let me take up for Houston here just a second, and I'm not wild about the price at plus 750, but they played Auburn and Alabama. Alabama game went to overtime. This is 2 of their 3 losses. Alabama game went to overtime. They had the lead on Auburn with 2 minutes to go and ended up losing that game. The other loss was 1 point to Texas Tech. They've beaten Kansas twice. They've beaten Iowa State. They've beaten Arizona. They came back and beat Texas Tech again. I can't necessarily recommend them at that price, but they're going to be a real hard out. I think they
don't beat Texas Tech if they're at full strength. It took it all they could get. And,
well, the first time they lost to them, they were at full strength. They lost by a point
at home.
Okay, I get it.
But... I mean, at home. The other thing is, they should have split with Kansas, and nobody's high on Kansas.
No, Kansas is sliding. Those wins don't mean what they did.
Well, they just played Kansas last week. And
the first time
took all they could handle to beat them at home.
I think they should have lost both games to Kansas. If Kansas didn't turn the ball over 21 times the other night, was that Monday night?
Yes.
They kind of dominated the game. They just kept turning the ball over. And Hannah, you forgot one loss that Houston has, and this is the reason why I don't think they can win
San Diego State,
They lost to San Diego State.
I did forget that one.
That's just a similar type of team that just grinds. They're not good on offense either, and just kind of I remember I watched that entire game, and I was like, wow, Houston's not going to be good this year. But, I mean, obviously they turned it around. I just think it's a product of the Big 12 not being that great, and they did get some lucky injury luck when they played some of the better teams. I don't know. I'm just not sold on Houston. They could probably make the Final Four, but I don't see them winning.
No, listen, the metrics are there. The history tells us. My eyeballs tell me something else, and they just don't run any offense. They just don't do it. It is just thrown together. All right, Chris, real quickly before we get to your picks, have you seen the Tritons play? Have you been to the game?
I have seen them play, not in person. They're much better than that miserable. Anyone that says that the Irvine team is good and should get a bid, the Irvine team is not good, does not deserve a bid. I understand, not to get into race and politics. I understand everyone in the Irvine area is Asian. They have like 2 Asian kids on the team who aren't very good at basketball. They're like they play a lot. I'm shocked. I watched the game the other night against Long Beach State. Long Beach State has 3 wins. And they could barely pull away from Long Beach State. So I hope for the sake of the Big West and for all the people that criticize the tournament committee that San Diego just beats them in the tournament because they deserve to get in. They run a real offense. They have 5 guys that can shoot and start in lineup, and they're a fun team. I hope they make it because Irvine does not deserve to be in the tournament.
All right, let's get to it. Illinois tonight at home in Champaign. Boy, showed Man, they smashed Michigan at Chrysler. Now taking Purdue. Purdue did respond. They were kind of trading punches with Rutgers early, and they didn't guard Braden Smith. They might want to do that, especially when he's hot. They were kind of ridiculous the other night. Rutgers, you see why they're underachieving. You like the Illini at home here, -4.5.
I do like Illinois, and the reason I like them is based on one stat. Purdue is 337th in the country. Just need to not shoot a million threes. And if you saw me on Twitter the other day at Real Gauge, I was going crazy about Illinois because they keep shooting these threes when they can just dominate inside. They shot 37 threes against Michigan. They got hot a little bit in the second half, but Purdue defends the three pretty good. They do not defend the inside. Illinois should just go inside all night long. They're healthy now. It seems like they got the ship righted after the 2 wins against Iowa and Michigan. Purdue, they kind of got the ship righted as well, but their defensive metrics are just so bad. In the Big Ten, they're 18th in block percentage, 17th in 2-point D. So I hope Illinois just pounds it inside. I would lay the number if I trusted Underwood to do this, but I don't. So I'm going to play a money line parlay with Illinois. I'm going to pair it up with VCU, who's going up against Dayton. Dayton's 4-5 on the road. Haven't had an impressive road win or any win in 2025. The best win is against St. Joe's this year, 10-6 in the last 16. They had early wins against UConn and Marquette, but I'm not impressed with Dayton on the road. So I think you parlay those together, pays 4 to 5, so you're betting 500, you get back 400.
Okay.
If you want to add in a team and get a little plus money, I think you can put the Clippers in there as a money line parlay tonight because Brunson got hurt in the overtime last night, rolled both ankles. He's going to be out. And I suspect that the Knicks are going to sit a few more guys. So if you add those three together, you get a plus 150. Clippers, Illinois, VCU, moneyline parlay.
I've been with you at the track many a times. I don't know you to take 4 to 5 shots. But anyway, this is basketball. We digress. That is Purdue, Illinois tonight, 7 o'clock Central Time. Tip on Fox. And then Dayton, VCU, kind of heating you up for that one. Atlantic 10. Boy, VCU's on a roll. Humping 25-5 and smashing people along the way. That line in that game is -9.5.
Yeah, 15 or 6. Yeah, 15 or 16 they've won, and they beat Dayton already at Dayton by 5 February 7th. So I don't see any reason why this VCU team is going to let up after this run they're on.
I think that was a Friday night game, too, that Dayton had a big lead on them that gave it away. You're looking at one in the Big Ten tomorrow. Indiana has played better. What's he could just coach now? He doesn't have to pamper these guys and, just worry about them transferring and transfer portal and all that. They are playing better. They got tripped up in their last game, but they're hosting Ohio State tomorrow. Indiana may be a slight favorite in that one we're projecting.
Yeah, I saw Ken Palm had it, Indiana by 1. Ohio State's off the double overtime win, which makes me a little nervous because they just did play a lot of extra basketball. But Indiana's off that collapse for bettors. They're up 1, getting 7, lost by 9, and an epic collapse against the spread against Oregon. And this is the angle we've been talking about all year, to travel back from these places to play a home game. It's been a letdown spot for the teams coming back from the West Coast. And if you remember, when these two teams faced each other, there was an overtime game in Columbus on January 17th. They had no Devin Royal for Ohio State. So he's back, 13.6 points per game, 7 rebounds. I look for Ohio State to get a much-needed win to get off the bubble and get into the tournament.
All right. You think they're on the bubble right now?
Oh, yeah, they're definitely on the bubble.
Okay. Yeah, well, the SEC.
I mean, if they lose this game, they're probably in the world of hurt. But if they get this game and they win a game in the Big Ten tournament, they have some decent metrics and some decent quad 1 wins just because they play in the Big Ten. So they have a very talented team. I'm surprised that they don't have a better record. They've had some tough luck losses.
Speaking of the bubble, the mid-major police on alert because all 4 bubble teams in the SEC had big wins during the week. We'll see how they finish off their season. Chris, good luck to you. Have fun, man. Have fun, and keep keep humans on the positive side. I mean, don't let him gripe too much.
Yeah, we got to send him a balloon and a cake or something. Cheer him up.
Thank you, Chris. Good luck, buddy. All right, don't forget our friends at Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings, 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional services, which you get. We need out 296-0060. Our great team at Legacy Title, Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, buying, building, refinancing. Nobody choose but you. Choose Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title, 296-0060. Troy Macker, we come back. You got the main event in the UFC card. That's a straight-up pick.
Let's see
that usually generates a little bit more action.
I know Troy will have an opinion on it for sure. When we come back here live at Ruffino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Hey guys, this is former Major League Baseball player and avid deer hunter David DeLucci. There's nothing better than spending time in the woods, making memories at the camp, and enjoying the land. If you're like me and dream of owning your own hunting property, remember the name First South Farm Credit. They've been financing rural land for over 100 years. It's just what they do. When you're in the market for land, make First South your first call. Stop by or find them online at firstsouthland.com.
The Grove Recovery Center asks you to call to let their family help yours. And know this, each of the members of the Grove's admission team are not only in recovery, they've also made that same phone call. So please know that when you reach out to them, there will be no judgment or ridicule, rather sympathy and understanding. After less than 10 minutes, a program of recovery destined for you begins. That phone call is the beginning of a new life. Let someone that's changed theirs help you change yours with the Grove Recovery Center, 310-2600.
At Duplessis Builders, we believe knowledge is power. That's why we inform our clients about everything possible before building their new pool. We want you to know all of your options and get exactly what you want when getting your dream pool. That's why we've written our book that everyone who's thinking about getting a pool should read. Go to duplessisbuilders.net and click the tab Our Book. That's duplessisbuilders.net to download our book for free. Building a pool shouldn't be a mystery. It should be an open book. Duplessis Builders.
This is Charles Haniger for Total Maintenance. Now is the time to get your AC cleaned and checked before those sweltering temperatures arrive. Ensure your unit is performing at max efficiency. Lower your monthly bills and prolong the life of your central air conditioner. Right now, mention my name or Jimmy Ott and get $100 off that service. Down from $179 to $79. Call Total Maintenance for generators, electricity, and plumbing issues. In Baton Rouge, 480-1000, and in New Orleans, call 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
Are you experiencing fatigue, low libido, and muscle loss? At Rejuve Medical, we specialize in medically monitored hormone replacement therapy. Begin your journey to a better you. RejuveMeMedical.com. That's RejuveMe Medical.com.
Ready to take your brand awareness to new heights?
Experience the power of audio and digital marketing combined with Guaranteed Digital Media.
Our radio branding messages resonate through the airwaves, leaving a lasting impression.
Combine this with digital tactics like retargeting, geofencing, and social media to really boost your reach.
Imagine your radio ad complemented by targeted digital ads, ensuring your brand is seen and heard across multiple platforms.
To learn more, visit 1045ESPN.com and click Connect. That's 1045ESPN.com and click Connect.
The Louisiana Outdoor Expo is back.
March 14th through 16th in Gonzales.
At the expo, you'll find boats of every size.
For every purpose.
And every budget.
Plus everything for hunting and fishing.
There's a huge selection of tractors.
Outdoor power equipment.
Golf carts and ATVs.
The whole family will love the exciting Dog Dogs dog jumping competition.
And the Texas Rattlesnake Show.
The Louisiana Outdoor Expo.
Brought to you by Riverlands Insurance Services.
I took control.
I took control. We took control.
This is Chris Medine with Medine's Collision Center. Auto accidents can be overwhelming. Crucial decisions are made instantly, like where to take your car for body repair.
But doesn't my insurance company recommend a collision shop?
It's your right to choose a collision center. Don't let anyone push you around.
Medine's not only repaired my car, but restored my confidence.
Log on to MedineCollision.com and read our latest blog. We are your accident advisors. Remember,
take control. Choose Medine's.
Jake and James, the Trash Rangers. Do you need one more reason to switch your residential trash pickup? How about $13.95 a month for the first few months? Go to TrashRangers.com and make the switch today.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Jimmy, Charlie, and Troy. 3 best buddies sitting around talking sports bets. Let's welcome in Troy Macker from Bet Rivers.
Oh, Troy, right up your alley, huh? The UFC main event. And you tell us, Troy, this is your corner of the store. But, man, when you have the main event, which is the odds are this tight, it's got to create more of a handle, huh? What is it, Pereira and Ankalaev? Is that right?
Yeah, and it's an incredible matchup for people who really like the UFC and like technical fighting. Ankalaev is an incredible grappler. Pereira obviously has world-class knockout power in hands. A former multi-champion kickboxer. He's only minus 122 on the money line. That's got to be the shortest he's been maybe ever in the UFC, except maybe Israel Adesanya in their first fight. He typically has a size advantage. I don't think he'll have a significant size advantage against Ankalaev. The way Ankalaev wins is by decision, probably by out-grappling, out-wrestling him. We haven't seen that happen to Pereira yet. I'm on Pereira simply because he's the champion. He's the 2024 Fighter of the Year across multiple outlets, and it's a very short price. I do think he finishes him. I probably wouldn't bet on a fight prop. Maybe I will closer to fight time, but this should be a really, really good fight. Might be a slow first round, and I would probably, even though Pereira's got great hands, a great finishing ability, I'd probably take the over. It's probably 3.5 rounds. I'd probably take the over because I think this is going to be a slower developing fight. That the first round is a wash because of feeling out process, and then there might be a round of grappling. So I could see the over hitting here.
Hey, Troy, I'm looking at Bet Rivers right now, minus 122. Ankalaev, minus 103. So Pereira a little bit of a favorite now. This thing has been close to pick 'em, or straight up pick 'em the whole time, huh?
Yeah, and I jumped when I saw Pereira at 122. I didn't really do a lot of research. But that is for champions who are at the very top of the pound for pound ranking, even though the UFC does a much better job than boxing at putting them up against the next best. Typically the champions and the elite champions are favored very heavily. So this is as short you're ever going to get them. So I think they're doing this because they know the public will bite on that. He's one of the most popular fighters on the planet right now. He was, again, he's probably number 1 or number 2 in pound for pound. He was the Fighter of the Year. When you see that price, that is very, very tantalizing to take as a bettor. On the flip side, if you think that Ankalaev, who's been right there, he's probably top 5 pound for pound. If you think he has a chance, 103 to me isn't long enough. I would need that to be well in plus money before I took a bet on that. But I think they're thinking everyone bets on the champion. So there's going to be a lot of money on Pereira going into tomorrow night.
Troy, I'm wrong, but does it create more of a handle on this one? Because my thought would be when you have a short number like this, short price either way, they could bet just the main card as opposed to if it's minus 350, minus 450. Well, you're either taking a dog or you're putting it in one of your 5, 6, 7 team 7-leg parlay.
Yeah, well, the issue here is, well, I've just explained how good Pereira is, and he has become one of the more popular fighters. He is still not in that top tier of super popular fighters. Justin Gaethje, who's fighting on the card in the co-main event, he's more popular. I could see that handle being bigger simply because the casual fans are going to gravitate more to him.
Okay.
The same with a Sean O'Malley, a Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler, John Jones, and the like, where he is, I think some of it obviously has to do with the language barrier. This will generate a larger handle from the smart bettors because they will see this price and go, oh, this is too good to pass up. Whereas, a lot of the other bettors, casual bettors will be, betting money on Gaethje knockout, and things like that. But I think if you were just to eliminate kind of the casuals and look at the smart bettors, yes, this is absolutely going to generate a larger handle in that department.
Gaethje plus 128 at Bet Rivers right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a similar scenario, as the Pereira fight. Now he has more one-dimensional striking than Pereira. Pereira is a good grappler. Gaethje has great knockout power. He's, a little bit long in the tooth. He's in war. He's constantly in wars, and he's fighting Rafael Fiziev, who is a grappler, who's going to want to grab a hold of him, smother him, cover him, take him to the ground, where Gaethje is an okay fighter. And he's a little bit younger and has good size. So I think that's where you see the price, minus 159 for Fiziev, even though he's 11th in the rankings. Gaethje is a top 3 fighter in his division, plus 128. I like plus 128. Gaethje, this is more of a heart check because I love watching him fight. He's in nothing but wars. The last time out, he was in just one of the best fights I've ever seen against Max Holloway. And you can get him on plus money, and the knockout's there at any point. He has legit top of the food chain knockout power. And where, Pereira has very, very, very good knockout power, but for his weight, Gaethje, I think, has better. So, and when you can get him at basically plus 130, that's a good bet for me.
Hey, Troy, we've been talking a lot about maybe trying to eliminate a team that we don't think has. Now, like, granted, Charlie, this is, I mean, I could tell you every team's not going to make it. It'd be 67 out of 68. I'm right. They're not going to win it all.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Michigan State, Houston, Texas Tech, Alabama, if you had to scratch one off, process of elimination, which one would you eliminate, or two would you eliminate? Say, no, this team does not have a chance to win it all.
Probably Michigan State, and I think it's just from a scoring standpoint and output. They're going to potentially come up against some really high-paced teams. Texas Tech similarly, but I think Texas Tech has a better superstar on their roster, and I think you need superstars in March. Not to say that Michigan State doesn't, but I think the caliber of their top player isn't as high as the caliber of Texas Tech's top player. So I would probably lean Michigan State, even though it sounds ridiculous, because who's betting against Tom Izzo in March?
All right. We have a couple of the high-profile games up to. We got a decent card tonight, a Friday's card, but Alabama and Auburn. Auburn is 8.5. Duke and North Carolina. Duke is 12.5 over North Carolina, and we've got Missouri, Kentucky is up at Bet Rivers right now. Missouri is a 3.5-point home favorite. Anything you like tomorrow or tonight?
Yeah, well, I can't bet on Kentucky, man. I really like this team, but I never know. They pull stuff out of the hat on the road. They squander games at home. They play with a ton of heart. Missouri is far better than I ever imagined. That's a no bet for me, simply because I can't get a read on Kentucky on a consistent basis. I think Auburn's the best team in the country. I think they're eons better than pretty much everyone not named Duke. I like them at home, but Alabama has played really tough. Recently they had a tough loss to Tennessee. I think 8.5 is a lot, considering Alabama is still one of the 10 best teams. I would probably take Alabama plus 8.5. I know that sounds crazy on the road in a hostile environment against the best team in the country, but I just think Alabama might keep it close. And Duke, North Carolina, Duke is so much better than North Carolina, but 12.5, on the road, I'd probably, even though Carolina has just been very mediocre, very pedestrian, I'd probably take North Carolina plus 12.5, even though Duke is beating teams in the 30s. I just think this is North Carolina's Super Bowl. Probably not making the tournament unless they have a deep run in the ACC tournament. So I think this is their biggest game of the year, and 12.5 is a good number for me to take the Tar Heels to cover these.
Troy, I'm with you if they lose as expected tomorrow, but if North Carolina were to win that game, they're among the first four out right now. If they were to pull a big upset and win that game, doesn't that get them in just on the strength of that?
Probably, and they'll become the biggest argument on Selection Sunday for one of the sexy mid-majors who loses in the first or second round of the tournament, like a UC San Diego, as we always talk about, or even like a VCU if they don't win their tournament, things like that. So I'm hoping they lose just so we don't have that the awful argument that we seem to have every year about a snub in the power conference teams that are finishing fourth or fifth. I don't like that. I'm definitely of the camp of put the most fun teams in. We want the upsets. We want the best mid-majors to knock off the big dogs. So hopefully North Carolina loses, but I do think they could sneak in if they do beat Duke and then make a semifinal run in the conference tournament.
All right, Troy. Follow Troy on Twitter at Troy Macker. That's MACHIR. Troy, good luck to you this weekend, man. Thank you, buddy. We'll recap it all on Monday. Thank you, bud.
Thanks, guys.
All right, don't forget our friends at United Community Bank with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow, including their newest branch at Burbank and Bluebonnet. We've been serving the people of South Louisiana for over 50 years. At United Community Bank, your business is our business. We support the hardworking folks behind local business. From initial startup loans to ongoing planning and assessments, United Community Bank is here for you. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry, Prentice Wilkes, and discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Ruffino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988, a hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week, Monday through Friday. First batch comes out at 5 p.m., weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road near Starring since 1988.
Live at lunch.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Hey folks, Jeremy Stein here. Our famous spring tax-free sale is happening. This weekend, you pay zero tax on everything in the store this Saturday and Sunday. Get the best prices on Cub Cadet, Steel, Ego, and Craftsman power equipment and pay no tax. Get everything you need to spruce up for spring like Scott's Bonus S and mulch. Lumber, grills, appliances, flooring. Stein pays 100% of your tax. You won't get tax-free with these buckets, so choose the better bucket and pay no tax this weekend only at Stein.
This is Charles Hanniger for Home Bank. Grow your nest egg savings with a great CD rate from Home Bank. For a limited time, you can earn 4.25% annual percentage yield, and you get to choose the term. Pick 3, 7, or 11 months and get this excellent return on your savings. The minimum balance is only $2,500. It really is that simple. Stop by any South Louisiana Home Bank location and speak with a local banker today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Your old or broken phone can let you down when you need it most. Perfect. But at Verizon, trade in any old phone from our top brands and get the most for it, up to $2,000 in value for an amazing new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence and a new line on My Plan, and iPad and Apple Watch Series 10. That's like a 3-for-1. And you can get it on any plan. At Verizon, trade in your old phone for a brand new iPhone 16 Pro, iPad, and Apple Watch. The other guys won't give you that. Visit Verizon.com today. Additional terms apply. Service plan required for Apple Watch and iPad. Up to $2,000 value based on iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watch.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress. Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, $149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. They got hidden fees. That ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, because this deal's for a limited time. $149
for tax prep. That's $149 or less. Hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Looking for some time away but don't want to go too far? The Cook Hotel at LSU is just what you've been searching for. Book your getaway today and enjoy a peaceful escape overlooking the University Lake in any of their luxurious guest rooms or suites. Their newly renovated bar is back open for service, and they're located near some of the best restaurants in town. Visit thecookhotel.com or call 225-383-2665 to book your stay today.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Doe's Eat Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with a sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Doe's Eat Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Happy 10th anniversary to Vex European. That's 10 years of service, 10 years of specialization, 10 years of expertise. If you drive a European vehicle, check them out online at vexeuropean.com, vexeuropean.com. That's Vex with a V.
Jake and James of Trash Rangers. How does $13.95 a month for residential trash pickup sound to you? Go to trashrangers.com for all the info and make the switch today. That's trashrangers.com.
Construction, welding, maintenance, and fabrication. Action Industries does it all. Proud partner of LSU Athletics.
Live at lunch with Otten Hanny from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
3-stroke lead for Shane Lowry and Wyndham Clark up at the top of the leaderboard at the Arnold Palmer. They're both 8 under par. Lowry with a really nice, was it 32 foot birdie putt. He is through 14. Clark is one hole behind him. He is playing 13 right now. They're both 8 under par. Rory McIlroy, Max Geiserman at 3 under par, along with Justin Thomas and Keegan Bradley. Corey Connors is in between them. He is 5 under par, just ahead of bogey at 17. And Scotty Scheffler, was he the favorite when we woke up this morning? Okay.
Yes.
He tees up
anywhere from plus 300 to plus 350.
He tees off in about 5 minutes, and he is 1 under par for the tournament. That puts him 7 behind the leaders.
All right, first of all, Justin Thomas, too, after 4 over, a couple of double bogeys in the first 4 holes yesterday, really blistered it late. Continued that today, was 3 under till he hit 11. 11, he gave a stroke back. He bogeyed, and then he just missed about a 6-footer for birdie on 12. So he is kind of cooled off a little bit. But yeah, current odds right now, basically co-favorites. Shane Lowry plus 280, Wyndham Clark plus 330. Scotty Scheffler, it's odd to see him not as a leader. He's plus 400 on the adjusted odds board. That's compliments our friends over at the Queen Casino DraftKings Sportsbook.
We will come back with Bruce Marshall when we return live at Ruffino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Hey, do you love beef? I mean premium Angus beef. Sagrera Farm sells the whole sides and quarters straight from the farm, ready to fill your freezer with tender, flavorful ribeyes, fillets, strips, brisket, ground beef, and a lot more. I want to introduce you to Louisiana's own Sean Sagrera of Sagrera Farms, a hidden gem just 30 minutes north of Baton Rouge. What's Sean's secret? Mating genetically superior Angus cattle and then ensuring that every day in the life of his cattle is a great one. Happy, healthy cattle, finished on grain, dry-aged 45 days, creates consistent and predictable, flavorful beef. When you take a bite of Sagrera Farms beef, you'll know that this is not some mass-produced afterthought. So if you want the best, and I mean the best in Angus beef, go online to sagrerafarms.com, or better yet, call Sean right now at 225-719-1723. Sagrera Farms.
Say yes to the perfect ring at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Getting married this spring or summer? Ready to get engaged? We've stocked our showcases with hundreds of engagement rings and wedding bands to wear and compare. Plus, we're offering 24 months of no-interest financing. Shop an extensive collection of loose diamonds, engagement rings, and wedding bands at the Lee Michaels Diamond event.
3 days only, March 20th through 22nd. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry at the Mall of Louisiana.
Stabs Prime Steak and Seafood? Stabs Prime Steak and Seafood. Well, I guess along with those sizzling steaks, we do have wood-fired oysters and scallops, beautiful sea bass, fresh Gulf fish and shrimp, and rich Ora King salmon. So yeah, Stabs Prime Steak and Seafood. Jefferson Highway across from Palermo Ristorante. Tell Leo that Kevin sent you. And don't forget, there ain't no cake in that crab cake. Come and see us.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance. And Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service.
Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. With 5 new brands and a huge selection of certified and pre-owned vehicles to shop on one lot, we're sure to have the right ride for you.
Shop BayouFord.com and BayouCDJR.com, or come see us just off I-10 in LaPlace. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Darren James and Associates, powered by LPT Realty, commit to excellent service unlike any other. Darren and his team save buyers as much money as possible. If you're ready to buy or sell your home, call Darren James or visit agent225.com.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Otten Hanny from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And we return here at Ruffino's. The restaurant opened for Friday lunch, and we got to some stuff if you're observing Lent.
Oh, it's that time of the show where we make Bruce Marshall hungry. I mean,
yes.
The first Friday in Lent, so we're going to have some seafood. And listen, we're not a seafood restaurant only, but we have plenty of seafood options, non-meat options for you Catholics during partaking in the Lenten Friday season. First Friday in Lent, the crawfish cakes, panko-crusted crawfish cakes with a tarragon cream sauce with roasted corn and tomato sauce with pickled sweet peppers, the shrimp and truffle pizza, more non-meat items, Gulf shrimp, Alfredo base, asparagus, mushrooms, and wild arugula. Entree features a lobster mac and cheese. That's right. We like mac and cheese.
Yeah.
We like lobster. Put
Sure.
them together. Smoked cheddar and Gruyere Monnier. Trinity lobster claw meat topped with a toasted panko. And then our pompano in papillote. That's fish in a parchment paper bag. Fish in a bag. Sun-dried tomato basil, red bell pepper and olive oil served with a side of spaghetti aglio. Brucey, you hungry?
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I just want to come down there and eat with you guys. That's my goal in life now.
Bruce, so the smaller tournaments, you got any strong opinions on maybe a team to a shot to make a run, or a team that's just nobody's going to touch in these conference tournaments, the smaller ones?
Well, yeah, I mean it's interesting because they are getting going, like you said. Last night I had a couple of ones that threw me for a loop last night. Lipscomb has been playing really good lately. Now they did survive that game against Queens in the A-Sun. They didn't cover though, but they have been really a force lately. So I would watch them. Bucknell and the Patriot have been a really real force. They won but didn't cover. They got a 7-footer Williamson who can really cause damage in that loops. I think those two will probably still survive their respective tournaments, but sometimes you got to be careful laying these bigger prices there because you got these other underdogs in there with nothing to lose, and sometimes these favorites play with a bit of a collar on their neck. The one I always watch, we talk about this one every year, guys, this time right before we get to the big major conferences next week. The Missouri Valley Arch Madness in St. Louis is always an interesting tournament. And I think this is one where this is sort of how college tournaments are supposed to feel. Because, really there's probably only one bid coming out of this league, although Drake might have a case here for an enlarge if it loses. But there's real drama like in every game. And it's not like, the SEC next week. Almost all these teams are going to the big dance, so there's not as much drama. But the Arch Madness is good. There is a trend in St. Louis, too. This has been sort of an under tournament in recent years. I want to say the last 6 of them, like 65% to the under. And we had 3 of the 4 go under yesterday. So they're tipping off pretty soon. Drake actually is going to be in action. The teams that got a bye yesterday, the top 4, are all in action today. But there's a couple of totals here that I think still look a little bit high. And we might, under's been the way to look in the Missouri Valley. We'll see if that trend continues here today.
What teams have we lost? Refresh my memory, Bruce. I mean, Creighton used to be in the Missouri Valley Conference. Wichita State no longer in the Missouri Valley Conference. I mean, who else have we lost recently? Loyola Chicago? Are they?
Yes.
They're a new member.
Loyola was there for a few years before I went to the A-10. Of
course,
Creighton.
Okay.
Yeah, Creighton was a bellwether there, and when Wichita too. I mean, Wichita was in the league too. Now they moved moved out as well. So it used to be more. So Drake is about the only of those heavyweights that's left. But if you go back further, I mean, Northern Iowa's had some really good teams. They're still involved. Bradley used to long ago be a force. Belmont has moved into the league. Some others have moved in. Belmont, Murray State have moved in, but it's still pretty competitive. And those sides that have moved into the Belmonts and the Murray States have had success in other leagues. It's still a compelling tournament. They play it there at the Blues Arena in downtown St. Louis, so it's always kind of crackling. And Drake this year, this is an interesting story because the new coach, Ben McCollum, came in. Remember, DeVries went to West Virginia after winning a lot there in recent years, took his son with him. But McCollum has come in here from a D2 powerhouse, brought some of his kids with him, a lot of transfers, and they are sitting really good right now. I think they should have a shot at large if they lose to, say, the final. They're 27-3, beat Vanderbilt, neutral court back in November. And McCollum is getting mentioned as a guy who might get pulled out of there pretty soon because he's done so well. So Drake, though, tips this thing off right about now, actually, Southern Illinois and Drake in St. Louis.
Yes. What was the conference of Belmont and Murray State we're in? What was that again?
They were in
Ohio Valley.
Ohio Valley.
Ohio Valley. Yeah.
Yeah. And they've got a lot of success for both of them in recent years.
All right. Illinois and Purdue tonight. We got Dayton, VCU. How about VCU? They're covering machine as of late. Decent card tonight, Friday, and some of the, like you talked about, some of the smaller conferences. Anything catch your attention today?
Yeah, there's interesting. Now we'll get those Big Tens, those couple games tonight, and that Illinois, Purdue. Both those teams have kind of mirrored each other because they were both kind of slumping, and now they both caught fire their last few games and won a couple. Illinois really impressive over Michigan. Watch the Mid-American tonight. Now, this is interesting. This is the last night of the Mid-American regular season. Their tournament this year just takes the top 8. They used to have that thing where they would play campus sites, the bottom 8, whatever, in the first round before they get to all the Cleveland. This year, they're only taking the top 8. They are tipping all these games off at the same time tonight, 6 p.m. Central. So it's kind of like the last group day at the World Cup. They don't want anybody to have any advantages. There are a couple of sides in there that I would still watch in a couple of angles too. Totals. Kent State. Look what Kent State's done lately. They're scoring a lot of points. They've really accelerated the tempo for Rob Senderoff more than usual. They're over 7 of 8, and this team is filled with upperclassmen and filled with multi-year starters for Kent State. Sullinger started for several years. Davis has been there for several years. Gillespie has been a multi-year starter. Stafford came over from Miami, Ohio, where he was a starter. They're scoring a lot of points, and Eastern Michigan's not too bad the other way, scoring points. These two are both into the MAC tournament already for next week. But the total's on mid-140s. That doesn't look high enough for these teams that have been scoring, pretty consistently in the 80s. So I might look at an over
145.5 we're showing there.
Yeah, 145.5. Another one, maybe this Miami Ohio Ball State game tonight. Now, Ball State has got they're in some trouble to make the tournament. They're going to have to win and get some help. Miami, Ohio is in there. I've liked Miami, Ohio a lot this year. There was a time when they were the only team in the country in both the top 10 field goal percentage and three-point percentage. They got a lot of shooters. They've dropped off a little bit their field goal percentage, but they're still shooting threes pretty well. And this total is right near 150 tonight. I don't think that one is high enough either because Miami scores a lot of points and Ball State can get up and down the court. So that one as well, I might look over. You mentioned VCU a minute ago, Jimmy. This team, you're right. I mean, they have been a revelation this year, and they're playing Dayton tonight at home. I wonder, and every year, Jimmy and Charlie, we seem to see teams like this every year. Back early in the season, first month of the season, Maui in particular with Dayton, and then they had a game with Marquette in early December. They look really good. But that may have sort of distorted our perception of them a little bit. If we look back, some of those efforts in the North Carolina game where they were right down, at overtime, I think that turned out, North Carolina is not what we thought they were in November, even though they're playing a little bit better lately. UConn is not what we thought it was in November either. So those efforts maybe weren't that indicative of Dayton, and they have sort of struggled since, especially against the number. They're only 6-13 in their last 19 against the number. Anthony Grant put that freshman Letang in the starting lineup at the expense of Jed Key from Ohio State, who I thought was a pretty functional big, and he's sort of coming off the bench now. But Letang is running out of gas now. VCU is just a machine, and they win, they cover. Ryan Odom is getting some mention for some of these jobs that are opening up around the country at power conference levels. So I might look at VCU there. One other one tonight I'm going to give you. Out here in the Mountain West, UNLV. This is one of these, and they're getting 11.5 tonight at New Mexico at the Pit. First of all, the Mountain West tournament looks like it is very wide open next week. I mean, I could see 6 teams, including UNLV, on its home court having a shot in this thing next week. I saw them in person last week. I was very impressed. They are one of these teams. Their best player, Deaton Thomas, guard, has been out the last couple of weeks with a wrist injury. And everything sort of ran through him. And it looked, especially that first game he was out, UNLV's offense really struggled. But this is one of these strange things. Sometimes when a high ball usage guy goes out, the team starts to play better without him. And this is sort of the Arkansas Boogie Flam sort of thing. Henley has switched over there to point. DePaul transfer, but the offense is running pretty well with Henley. He's putting up points. They're sharing the ball. They crash the boards. They're pretty close in almost all their games, and they're winning 3 in a row now. New Mexico is kind of running out of steam here a little bit. They barely got there against Nevada the other night. 2-point game against Vegas earlier this year. Even in the Pit tonight, and this sews up number 1 seed in the conference tournament next week for the Lobos. But I don't know that I'd want to lay 11.5 here tonight. UNLV's hanging around pretty good. I'm going to take the Rebs tonight. And Kevin Kruger, I think there's talk his job is in trouble. I think he's probably saved it with this little rally at the end for UNLV. So I'll take the Rebs tonight down in the Pit.
Brucey, I got about 15 of the high-profile games, so we're going to go quick here. You tell me if you just want to pass or you want this one you got an opinion on. All right, let's go. Marquette, 1.5 at home against St. John's.
I'm not going to pick against St. John's. Marquette's disappointed me a little bit, so I'm going to just.
All right, Arkansas at home, 1.5 against Mississippi State.
I'm going to take Arkansas. Bounced back really nice against Vandy the other night. Mississippi State struggling a little bit.
Yeah, it was a nice road win. All 4 of the bubble teams in the SEC got big wins this week. Missouri, 3.5 at home against Kentucky.
I might lean to Mizzou there. Kentucky, too many flat efforts here. Too a little bit up and down. I may lean to Mizzou a bit there.
I'm kind of with you on that one as well.
Texas and Oklahoma. That may be a loser leaves town match.
I don't know about that.
They're both on the bubble. The losers got to really do something to the SEC tournament. I think.
You don't think if they go win one more game?
If Oklahoma loses, they're 5-13 in the league. I know they got those non-conference wins, but I wouldn't want to be on the losing end.
What's your bracketology say between Texas and Oklahoma?
They're right on the edge. They're right on the cut line. Right now, Texas might be last 4 in, and Oklahoma might be first 4 out. But this year in the SEC, like the other night, was indicative. These teams I was both ready to put out of the tournament, and they both win at midweek, so they're not dead yet. I wouldn't lay points with Texas. I might give Porter Moser a shot here to slip inside. So a little Oklahoma there.
Lenardi's got them both in the first 4 out.
First 4 out?
Yes.
Right now? Okay.
Right
so he's got
Oklahoma first team out, Texas third team out.
Okay. Auburn is going down. It was 8.5. It's down to 7.5 against Alabama.
Yeah. Maybe another over here. I mean, that's the way Alabama is. It doesn't. I mean, Auburn can play that way. I know they lost the other night, but I think that might be too many points. It looks like it could be kind of close. Bigger picture here. What is Bruce Pearl going to do? I don't think he wants to go in with 2 losses into the SEC tournament, but if he wins tonight, he's probably going to be a 1 seed anyway, and it might actually do Auburn good to go out early in the SEC tournament next week for what it's worth. But maybe a little Bama, maybe a little over in this one.
I'm betting against. I'm fading the Auburn, Florida, Tennessee's of the world in the SEC. Yes, I could see. Keep in mind last year too, Bruce. The 2 teams that went the farthest, Alabama to the Final Four, Tennessee to the regional final, the Elite 8. They were both 1 and done. in the conference tournament last year. Kansas at home. Kansas looked better. They're right there at Houston on Monday night. 2.5 at home against Arizona.
Yeah, they did look better, but boy, they have taken several losses here. But I might at the Fog give them one more shot. I don't think Arizona looked that great against Arizona State the other night. It really defensively, they just relaxed the other night. They got to have more defensive intensity if they want to win in the Fog, even though Kansas has been losing some games. So I might take the home team there.
Yeah, giving a bad team 100 points in regulation, that's not good. What they did. Speaking of points, this team's averaging 85 points a game. They have a little revenge spot here. They lost in Salt Lake City by 1. It's 13.5. The Holy War at Provo, BYU laying Utah.
Yeah, Utah has just named its coach. Jensen will come back from the NBA for next year, but he's not there yet. I'm not betting against BYU right now. They are one of the hottest teams in the country, and I liked actually the fact that they blew the lead against Iowa State and came back and won that game the other night. Holy War, you're right. They lost to Utah the first game, like you said. I'd go with BYU in the revenge.
All right, Bruce. Anything else that we missed? Do you want to shed you got any opinions on?
Yeah, I mean, tonight it's just one of these nights. Watch some of these other games. I guess this is what Ohio Valley, Southeast Missouri State is playing Little Rock tonight. Southeast Missouri State has beaten these guys. They are not that bad, and I may give Southeast Missouri State a look there. But those couple of totals in the MAC tonight, the Ball State game and the Kent State game, I look over in both of those.
All right, Brucey, great stuff as always. Looking forward to it, man. Championship week. We'll be right in the heart of it next week. Good luck to you this weekend, man. We appreciate it.
Okay, have a good weekend, boys.
All right, don't forget our friends over at Sammy's Grill. Boiled crawfish right around the corner. Try Sammy's Grill has taken over the old porch light, the old Tommy's Grill, Tommy's Fish House location in Prairieville at Old Perkins Road near Airline. So they're open 5 days a week, Wednesday through Sunday right now. Same old stuff. Boiled crawfish daily, 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Noon on Saturdays and Sunday. Also happy hour at the Prairieville location of Sammy's Grill, Old Perkins in Airline Highway. That's 3 to 6 p.m. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. $3.50 domestic and draft bottle beer, $3.50 house wines, and $2 off frozen specialties. The latest addition to the Sammy's Grill family. It's Old Perkins and Airline. Of course, same thing over at on Highland Road. Crawfish weekdays starting at 5 p.m. on weekends starting at noon. They have been really, really good. We are kicking in. They're getting a little bit size, and they do a great job on their boils over at Sammy's.
A familiar face returning to LSU. We'll talk about Kyle Williams when we come back here live at Ruffino's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch.
Got your lunch plans yet? Might I recommend P.F. Chang's? Explore their full Asian-inspired menu. Ask about the specials. And, of course, take in the ambiance and service that puts P.F. Chang's beyond compare. In Town Center, off Corporate Boulevard, look for the giant golden horse.
At Custom Colors Body and Paint, we're excited to have Will Rapp and Ian McKnight on our team. They're continuing the tradition of exceptional service that Billy Rapp and Pete McKnight began back in 1987. Custom Colors, located in the Industrial Plex off Seagan.
Electricians, want competitive pay and a family-owned company that values you? Boudreaux's Electrical Services is hiring. Power Louisiana homes with Generac home standby generators. Call 225-300-9389 or apply at boudreauxelectrical.com.
Craving crawfish? Head on over to Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland. Every Friday night, enjoy Chris's mouth-watering boiled crawfish. Dine in or take out. Fresh, spicy, and delicious. Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland, your Friday night crawfish destination.
Looking for the perfect van to take your business or adventure to the next level? Meet the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge. With class-leading versatility, advanced safety features, and legendary reliability, the Sprinter is built to work hard and keep you moving. Need cargo space? It's got it. Need passenger capacity? It's got that too. And with incredible fuel efficiency and Mercedes-Benz luxury, it's more than just a van. It's your ultimate partner on the road. Come see why businesses and adventurers alike trust the Sprinter. Visit Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge on Airline Highway in Baton Rouge, or check us out online at mbobr.com today.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Finbom, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee. And Phil's Oyster Bar since 1950 on Government Street and now in the South Downs Shopping Center.
For service you can feel, you gotta call Capital City Comfort.
Spring is here, and the experts at Capital City Comfort want to guarantee your comfort with a new energy-efficient Rheem HVAC system. This spring, take advantage of special financing and expert installation on all new units.
For service you can feel, you gotta call Capital City Comfort.
Visit capitalcitycomfort-br.com.
Hey, it's Musso, inviting you to join me for another season of Musso at the Box, presented by Gauntlet Light Installers. We've got you covered daily on LSU baseball. Go to YouTube or your favorite podcast app, search Musso at the Box, and get subscribed today.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Take a swing around the parish to one of Breck's 5 golf courses, 2 championship courses, Santa Maria and Beaver Creek, and 3 courses for the more casual golfers, the popular 18-hole Webb Park, and 2 9-hole courses, City Park and the newly renovated J.S. Clark. Breck's courses are designed to challenge every level of golfer, from beginner to pro. So come and get into the swing of things. Book your tee time online or find a course near you at golf.breck.org. That's golf.breck.org.
Jake and James, the Trash Rangers. Do you need one more reason to switch your residential trash pickup? How about $13.95 a month for the first few months? Go to trashrangers.com and make the switch today.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Today's show also brought to you in part by Coastal Capital Advisors, because when it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike. So let Coastal Capital Advisors tailor a plan for your family. Doesn't matter what your age is, doesn't matter what your financial situation is, Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you. It's a lifetime relationship. I know, because I've got one with them. Those guys work for me, and they can work for you too. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, member FINRA SIPC. I'll do a quick update on the golf.
Scheffler birdied the first hole, gave it a stroke right back. Wyndham Clark is in trouble. He is in the bunker alongside the green, and he is trying to chip for bogey. So he's looking at probable double bogey here. Co-favorites now, Shane Lowry and Scotty Scheffler.
And Corey Connors is in the clubhouse now at 5 under. That is by himself in 3rd place. So last week, LSU got dealt a really surprising blow when Bo Davis decided to.
I'm sorry. Scheffler just missed a 2-footer.
Oh, good.
So it's a double.
Good.
Oh, gosh. Sorry, Charlie. Go ahead.
No, that's fantastic. Okay. I'm fine with that. Where was it? Oh, yeah. When Bo Davis left for the New Orleans Saints, so it left them with about a week to scramble around before spring practice, which starts tomorrow, to find a defensive line coach. They made an overture towards Gerald Chapman, who has been here before. He decided to stay at Florida. Also towards Al Davis at Missouri. He decided to stay there. So LSU hired yesterday, or is finalizing a deal with Kyle Williams, the former All-American, 6-time Pro Bowler with the Buffalo Bills.
6 times.
And about as good a football player as, we've seen come through here. I mean, he was on that national championship team, a starter as a sophomore. He was a fantastic player in Buffalo. He was a fan favorite. Kyle Williams, kind of the salt of the earth guy. You know what you're getting with him as a player and as a person. I've never heard anybody talk with anything but the ultimate respect for Kyle Williams and how he played. He's been at Ruston the last 5 years, where, of course, they won a state championship 2 seasons ago. Ahmad Bro, LSU freshman lineman last year, was at Ruston with Williams and sings his praises. So he'll be on the practice field tomorrow when LSU starts this spring. Jimmy, we do this a lot, okay?
And speaking of golf, too, by the way, Lowry Bogey, too. It's a bogey fest going on right now. But yes, as far as the defensive lineman, a golf tournament, my money's on Kyle Williams.
You can put all of the players in. Besides the defensive lineman, he is a scratch golfer. He's fantastic with that. But
it just didn't. I have to say this, but like coming off the bus, he was the least impressive of that front four. I mean, there was some studs with, Lavallee and Hill and Spears. And I mean, he was, it's not even close. He had the best career, the pro career. He's in the Ring of Honor in Buffalo. They won a few games up there. I mean, that's pretty, he is. Now, does that make him a great coach? I don't know, but I know that, this is, I think he's very appreciative of coming back to his alma mater. He lived here for a while. And so kind of bounced back in Ruston, where he's, obviously living now, which he, working for his old high school. But I would think he fits the mold as. Was he an overachiever or not, Charlie? I mean, did you think, where was he drafted?
He was drafted in the 5th round.
Okay, he's in that Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair to say.
Yes.
A 5th rounder who's
goes into your Ring of Honor.
Yes. Okay, so that your best your most gifted players who didn't have to work hard and didn't have to just showed up and could kind of let their ability do make the worst coaches. I mean, if you're a 5th rounder, you make the Ring of Honor for the Buffalo Bills, you're an overachiever, and that kind of fits the mold of the coaches, the better coaches.
Right.
That walk on, I just wanted to be a part of it so much, or that guy that just, Sean Payton was a Eastern Illinois quarterback, just kind of he fits a sort of mold. He'd be good. He's going to be. But Bo Davis was I'm hearing he took less money too, which I'm not.
I told you it wasn't about money. He wanted to, for whatever reason.
No, you told me you didn't know what he was making,
but I told you it wasn't much more if it was.
Okay, but you don't leave for less money. Well, that's a problem. Okay, no, he might just. Man, I'm a big time recruiter in the old rules.
Yeah,
he might, be like, no, I'm taking the first. I'm getting out of here, or he might not. He might have hated working for Kelly.
Something didn't.
But I mean, like Frank Wilson. Frank Wilson guy. But by the new rules, I mean, how much can they impact, and how much are these guys that that really embraced the recruiting aspect of the job and were really good? How valuable are they still, and how good are they at the new rules?
That was my skepticism about Davis. The idea that he left because he didn't like the current landscape of recruiting. If that was the case, I don't think he would have moved to LSU from Texas. I think he would have got with his agent and said, listen, I don't want to coach college football anymore. Find me a job in the NFL. And he would have just left from Texas. The fact that he came to LSU led me to believe, okay, well, he's fine with all that. He's coming home. He's going to settle in, and at an enormous price. And when he leaves from that, it leaves me asking questions. Did you leave for more money? No. Did you leave because you're not crazy about the landscape of college football? I don't think so. So why did you leave? Did you really want to go coach for the Saints that bad? I don't know. The whole thing just seemed kind of screwy to me, especially the timing of it. You're a week away from spring football. You kind of committed to this.
LSU could have driven his price up, that he couldn't afford to pass that up to say. If they came the second time, he said, and knowing that he's in a good situation with Sarkisian, which I've told you about, he was in a comfortable, really good. He and Sark got along pretty good. So maybe they offered him better money to begin with, and then offered him that much more. And then he kind of, okay, I can take the money, but I'm not. Maybe the Saints job is in between. What he was making at Texas and stuff. And
I think it is. I think it's closer to the LSU number than the Texas number, but I think it's in between
but,
it.
It makes you, makes you speculate a little bit.
It does. It does. As far as Williams goes, here's what I know about Kyle Williams. He's going to show up and work his ass off. I ain't got no doubt about that, because that's just how he is.
Okay, but
that's how he's built. Is he going to be a great coach? I don't know.
How much? He's a no-nonsense guy. How much is he going to embrace this new age player?
I don't.
A lot of old school guys don't like him, man, and flat out just don't like him.
Kyle Williams doesn't, after 13 years in the NFL, doesn't have to coach. If he does to coach high school football for 5 years, okay, that's a want to. Okay, that's not just, hey, let me see what's going on. So he wants to do this. And I know he's going to work like nobody's business. Is he going to be able to translate all the things that he learned? Great players don't always make good coaches. In fact, most of the time, it's tougher for them because they see and process the game in a way that is difficult to teach. And there's countless examples of this. Doesn't mean that he won't. There are some.
This is a different schedule.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a different level of commitment. Hours away from the family,
and he knows that.
Maybe he wants it, but how long will that's a? I mean, he's safe play because is there another defensive line job that he wants in the country more than at LSU?
And there
probably not.
There was a rumor going around that he was going to get an analyst assistant to the assistant job in the NFL. And he was going to go back to the NFL. He's 41 years old, so if he wants to coach, he's got a long career in front of him. And this probably came from out of nowhere on him. I don't think that he was expecting the LSU job to open up a week before spring. I certainly wasn't. So maybe this came along. It's like, hey, you know what? This works. I'll take it. Listen, I want Kyle Williams on my team. I've seen enough of him to know that. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah. I wouldn't pass him off. I agree. But how much experience does he have, working? It's never coached at college before.
Can you teach? Can you teach what you have learned? Not all of them.
He's going to be fine, but if he's in it 3 years from now, he's going to be better at it than he was now.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a little bit of a learn, and I think it's player relations more than anything.
He certainly knows Ahmad Bro. One of his starters tomorrow. On the defensive line came from Ruston. So
okay. Yep, that'll be fun. It's the other one, Charlie, and recruiting them. It's just
he's got 4 freshmen and a transfer that all would have a chance at playing time this year on that defensive interior.
Yeah, you could do a lot worse than Kyle Williams. Yeah, for sure. So glad to have him back. Good dude, man. Good,
very good dude.
Hell of a player.
Like I said, I want him on my side.
I forgot that he was a sophomore on that 2003 national championship team because he was the least heralded, and he had by far the best career. And the Marquise Hill was cut short, obviously, but Marcus Spears was a first round pick. Where did Lavallee go?
Lavallee, I think, went the third. He had a little bit of a disappointing pro career because that year he was the best.
He was the one
in 2003.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt about that. Don't forget our friends Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime. 343-1111 and OCBrown.com. Never a charge for that initial consultation. That's right. Both Charlie and I have used Dana's teams of team specialized attorneys for different reasons at different stages of our lives, and did not hesitate at all to recommend to our friends as well. 343-1111 and OCBrown.com. Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown.
Live at Ruffino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Thibodaux store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux. As you're getting ready here into the spring, one of those home improvement projects, you don't know exactly how to proceed. Well, let the experts at the Thibodaux store help you out. It means they can direct you as far as your procedure, so you're saving time, supplies that you need, so you don't waste any money. So these little small projects that you can avoid hiring a contractor for, you can get them done yourself. And believe me, it's a lot easier when you can ask questions at the store and call them back if you're having some problems rather than consulting a YouTube video. Power tools, hand tools, plumbing supplies, electrical supplies, deliveries for lumber out of their sister property at the Pierre Pard store. They've been in business for 113 years, so they certainly know what they're doing. On the website, lots of specials available there only at ThibodauxStore.com, and on many of those items, including the Cajun cookware, free delivery is available to you as well. 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux, and online it's ThibodauxStore.com.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Trax.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV.
Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Super Chevy dealers today.
When it comes to building and property inspections at Southeast Louisiana, go with the certified experts, Avid Inspection Specialists. From homes to businesses, or mold, lead, or asbestos inspections, they have the latest technology to give you peace of mind. AvidSpecialists.com.
LHI 11331.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padilla at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
Step into luxury at the Watermark Hotel, downtown Baton Rouge's premier full-service destination. Housed in the historic Louisiana National Bank building, the Watermark blends timeless elegance with modern sophistication. Whether you're planning a weekend getaway or hosting wedding guests, we specialize in creating unforgettable experiences. Visit watermarkbr.com. Watermark Hotel, where history meets luxury.
Are you ready for some football? Join us this spring in reading the 2025 One Book, One Community selection, Season of Life by Jeffrey Marks. The 19th annual One Book, One Community initiative will highlight Marks' book and other sports-related programs for all ages. It will begin with a free tailgate kickoff for the whole family at the main library at Goodwood on Friday, March 14th from 5 to 8 p.m. Live entertainment, free food, children's activities, community organizations, and more. For more information, visit evrpl.com.
Attention vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Siegen near Perkins.
At Lewis Mechanical, no plumbing job's too big or too small, and we have the best technicians around. Lewis Mechanical specializes in both commercial and residential plumbing repairs.
Lewis Mechanical, keeping plumbing humming.
Jimmy Ott's 5-pack of picks, brought to you by Supreme Rice. Make sure you use Louisiana rice, grown by Louisiana farmers since 1936. Available at most local grocery stores. Supreme Rice.
All right, college basketball. Let's start off tonight in the Big Ten, 7 o'clock on Fox, Tip Central Time. Illinois now down to 3.5 at the Queen DraftKings outlet. They are taking on Kentucky, and I'd like for them to bounce back after getting spanked in Norman, Oklahoma. Brucey and I are on the same page on this one. Like Arkansas needs it a lot more. Mississippi State, they took it on the chin in overtime. A surprise there. Arkansas minus 1.5 in Fayetteville at home against Mississippi State. Auburn in the big one down to 7.5. Give me the Auburn Tigers to take care of business. First time Bruce Pearl looking for stuff, but first time they have a chance to win 16 regular season conference games. They're at 15-2 now. Do they really need any extra motivation to beat Alabama as bad as they can? You saw that big old exhale in College Station. They'll be fine. Celebration is over. They're going to spank Bama tomorrow. It's fading, and it's a tough stretch. It's a 7-game stretch we've been looking at for a long time, and they're kind of showing some signs of it.
Were you surprised at how easily they beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa? Because they really control that game. I mean,
yes.
I expected that to be a much closer game.
Yes. Bama got that. Alabama's just too dependent on the threes going down. They go through their.
Wasn't that the case last year too, though? And they made more of them.
I
mean, that's how they play.
I think Sears got hot in the tournament.
Yeah.
Sometimes he has poor shot selection, and it's not just when I understand if he's in a rhythm and he's hot, but sometimes he pulls up. They are not shooting as many threes that they did a year ago, so they're shooting way more twos, to be honest. But it's just I thought they were more of a complete team because the kid from Rutgers he battles down low. Nelson, the white kid, he battles. And I thought against Houston, who's going to test your physicality more than anybody else, they were fine in that win. And I thought they were like, okay, they're a little bit more complete. And then teams like Auburn and Florida kind of, those are brutal rosters. They're just not that. They're not that. So, and keep in mind last year, their path, even though they played UConn tough, gave them by far their toughest competition in the tournament, they kind of had an easier path. Some things kind of fell their way. They didn't beat, the top seeds on their way to the Final Four last year. So, but yes, I liked Alabama in the game at home earlier this year against Tuscaloosa. So, and it was a comfortable beating by Auburn. It was one of the big notches up in. And then Texas Tech. Texas Tech is at full strength again. Texas Tech is a good bully. When they are favored by this bigger points, they're taking care of business. But both those guys are back. They're top, their second and third leading scorer. They're back. Toppin's really good. They'll go to Arizona State. Kind of gave me a little effort. It was a pretty good of a spirited effort in their rivalry game in Tucson. They're just playing out the string. Now, I think Texas Tech goes to Tempe and spanks them pretty good. So, Auburn, Illinois, Texas Tech, Missouri, Arkansas, look, 5-pack for you, brought to you by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com. Well, somebody came to the show yesterday, man. I'm sold on the Supreme Rice, parboiled rice. Yes, indeed, man. It is. I am not leaving it. You got to try it. It's about 6 months now. Had the parboiled rice, something like that.
A little bit more.
Once you go to that Supreme Rice, parboiled rice, I don't think you're going to change for anything else. I've been trying to get my rice at home to be that restaurant quality rice. It's a thick, long grain rice. It's really doesn't have a ton of that residue when you pull it off. You kind of rinse it off. It's just a good, clean, firm, long grain rice. I love it. It's restaurant quality rice. It's the parboiled rice from Supreme Rice, wherever you find all of your Supreme Rice products in the Baton Rouge area grocery stores.
Also available now is their low glow, their low glycemic rice, which is available especially for diabetics. You can get at all of your AG food stores, your Rouse's, your Walmarts, and of course, don't forget that you're part of the Climate Smart program that will reduce methane emissions and promote water conservation and sure that future generations of Louisiana farmers can reap the benefits. For more information, great recipes, go to SupremeRice.com.
All right. Looks like Wyndham Clark will get a stroke back. So he has been given he had that double bogey on 15. We talked about that last time. So this is about a 6-footer for birdie on 16, par 5, 16. Looks like it goes a little right to left. He got it. Lipped it in. Rory he goes to 7 under. The updated odds board is now the leader is Shane Lowry. Shane Lowry at plus 360. Rory McIlroy plus 450. Wyndham Clark. I'm sorry. Shane Lowry, then Wyndham Clark now then Rory McIlroy, then Scotty Scheffler, your 4 choices. There's some movement on the leaderboard and the odds board at Bay Hill.
Live at Ruffino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Community banks touch every corner of our lives. They support us as we turn life's goals into accomplishments. Goals like going to college, opening a small business, buying a home, planning a wedding, or having a baby. From your first car to a new life after retirement, Landmark Bank is here for all of life's milestones. At Landmark Bank,
Hang one second.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
It's rolling.
This is Charles Handegriff. Join us for the Monday edition of Live at Lunch from Walk-Ons in Bruley. We'll recap the final regular season weekend in college basketball, college baseball, and I'm going to call myself there. Hang on a second.
So close.
Let me try again. This is Charles Handegriff. Join us for the Monday edition of Live at Lunch from Walk-Ons in Bruley. Wrap up the final regular season weekend in college basketball plus the final non-conference weekend in college baseball. Live at Lunch from Walk-Ons in Bruley, 11 a.m. Monday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
You're ready to work? We offer insurance, a retirement plan, competitive pay, a company vehicle, and my 26 years of experience to help you become a successful part of our team. We're blessed to be in high demand, so call me today. Don't let someone else get your job. Go to KZBlinds.com.
K2Z window coverings.
If you live in Louisiana, you know what the dozens of plants up and down the river mean for our state's economy. And since 1982, Action Industries has been committed to providing quality construction, maintenance, operational, and consulting services throughout the refinery and petrochemical industries. When it comes to safety and quality, Action Industries beats the industry standard. Call today or visit actionindinc.com. That's actionindinc.com.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes. We'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
For service you can feel, you gotta call Capital City Comfort.
Spring is here, and the experts at Capital City Comfort want to guarantee your comfort with a new energy-efficient Rheem HVAC system. This spring, take advantage of special financing and expert installation on all new units.
For service you can feel, you gotta call Capital City Comfort.
Visit capitalcitycomfort-br.com.
Attention veterans in Baton Rouge. Operation Homefront's Transitional Homes for Veterans program is offering rent-free homes right here in our area, plus financial counseling to help you build savings and secure your future. If you've served honorably and are within 1 to 3 years of discharge, don't miss this opportunity. Apply now at operationhomefront.org. That's operationhomefront.org, and take the next step toward home ownership. And thank you for your service.
This is Will Campbell with the Tigers. Louisiana National Bank is committing to making every interaction with its customers an experience that's more exceptional than any you've ever encountered. If you're looking for a teammate to help you achieve your financial dreams, come see one of the Louisiana National Bank's uncommon bankers. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
Jake and James of Trash Rangers. How does $13.95 a month for residential trash pickup sound to you? Go to trashrangers.com for all the info and make the switch today. That's trashrangers.com.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at lunch with Otten Hanny from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
LSU baseball this weekend, final non-conference weekend of the season. Be SEC ball the rest of the way. 6:30 tonight, 6 o'clock tomorrow, and 1 o'clock on Sunday against North Alabama, who is not good. They are At 3-8,
He
they're
goes
hitting
on
211,
conference.
hitting 211 as a team. So you're not going to see a whole bunch this weekend. Everybody plays, get everybody whatever work you need. But this is a very weak opponent. They got swept by UAB last weekend and scored 3 runs on the weekend. So I'm not exactly the what am I talking about? The high anticipation, series, but 3 more for LSU. They do play Xavier next week, who's a reasonable team for the last non-conference game. But
Bay Hill,
it's been a weak schedule.
Bay Hill, the Zurich Classic karaoke champions. The Irish duo had finished off on 18 and went in opposite directions. Rory McIlroy bogeys the last hole, so he is
4 under for the.
Yes,
McIlroy's 4 under for the tournament.
Yes, 4 under now. It's not updated on my thing. And then Lowry, he birdies it. This is the holy bogey. Yesterday, he birdied it to go 8 under. So now he has a 1-stroke lead over Wyndham Clark. Has a 3-stroke lead over Connors. Clark is on 17 right now. Aubert and Scheffler paired up again today. And boy, Aubert has a long fringe punt for eagle on 3. So see what Clark does on his par 3 17.
Did you see? Did you listen to him yesterday coming down the stretch? They were talking about how Rory and Lowry play off each other. They're very close friends. They tend to bring out. They were talking about Lowry's win at the Open the year that he won it. And they said, let's just say it was the best celebration party ever in the history of the event.
Lowry does come across as kind of the.
You can sit down and have a beer with him, sit down and have a cocktail with him.
Yeah. I thought Rory, during the I should talk about does the PGA need a Scheffler with the approach shot? He's going to have about a 10-footer for birdie on the par 5-4. But they asked him, do they need to kind of have a plan or whatever, where all the golfers are, is unified? And he said, I thought he was really careful in his words. And he's like, I think the PGA welcomes it. I don't think we need it. I think and he gave a little credit to that. It's not my cup of tea at all. I think it's totally manufactured, that little Monday and Tuesday night golf thing in Florida, the indoor golf, whatever. But he says, and it has shown a little public. Some people like it. It is complimentary, supplemental, to the tournament. But I thought it was good. I think the PGA is doing a lot. It was really good. But yeah, we all want to see the best golfers in the world playing at the same tournament.
You got enough of a sample size now that since COVID, you've become an avid fan of the sport. Do you think that the PGA Tour has been significantly hurt? That guys like DeChambeau, John Rahm, Brooks Koepka, etc.
But no, not significantly hurt.
No.
Yes,
everybody wants to see these guys do. Yeah,
some. I want to see the mullet man. I want to see Cameron Smith.
I want to see I want to see all the best golfers in the world.
Yeah, right. I want to see. I want to see those guys. Yeah, but I'm watching now. It is one of those sports where you put a little on it, and man, it's a lot of fun when you got it outright alive on a Sunday. Okay, right. You're talking about a future bet that's over a 4-day span. I mean, it's just so. But you can end game and give yourself some action on the last day, and I mean, But this is where the good thing is. I've learned so much about the golfers, and I learned to appreciate, maybe because we're older too. The guys that have to earn their money, and they kind of conduct themselves in a more appreciative, in a sort of a tasteful way. There's jerks on the tour, but just some of the professional athletes are just these insufferable, like they act like they're miserable, but making way more. And I think that's got, adds to it. So I want my NBA players to be more like my hockey players. I want them to fight in the All-Star game.
You want to,
but you know what I'm saying.
I want the All-Star game. How about in the regular season?
Yes.
Play all the time.
Like how can you bet on the Lakers games ahead of time. Like we do podcasts, okay? This is possible. Luka and LeBron are game time decisions every game. Every game. I mean, so when they come out, you don't know till 45 minutes. So if I want to go see a Pelicans game, Charlie, you don't know until you're on your way or maybe walking in who's playing, because they don't put it out till 45 minutes to an hour before the game time.
And I'll tell you what's worse. I'll tell you what's worse than that is when you know that they're playing and maybe they're at the end of a road trip or it's about whatever, and you go out there and you say, man, I'm getting no effort here. And not every team is like that.
Well, the regular season has been a three-quarter league for a long time. That's nothing new.
I can deal with three-quarters. It's when the teams go out and they're, a 3-point underdog and lose by 40 because they just mail it in.
Now, we'll say this. The players are more committed. They're more affluent with the perimeter shooting, and they've gotten so really good at it. It has homogenized the sport. It's a three-point shooting contest, and more so in the regular season when nobody wants to take a beat and drop to the hole, and get hit. And that's got to. I want to see more of a complete game. Move it back, widen the court, or widen it, but move it back to where you don't have a corner three anymore. Yeah. Whatever. It's just too much. I want to see more balance, and that's. I want the game to be better, and I think I've heard enough people talk about it that it's actually seriously being considered.
Well, and that's
it's
one
being
part
discussed.
The other thing is, and I blame ESPN for this, and Charles Barkley absolutely smoked them yesterday, and he was right. And he's like, look, I got to go to work for these people next year. But let me tell you, Kendrick Perkins needs to shut up about the damn Lakers and the Warriors, okay? The Lakers are a fine story here in the last month, but they didn't save the NBA. Why don't you guys pay attention to OKC? Why don't you pay attention to Cleveland?
Yeah.
These are great stories. These are teams that are playing hard. These are fresh faces. And all you guys want to talk about is the Lakers are,
they are great stories because they both got both won one round and they were bounced a second. Now OKC was favored and got upset by Dallas. Yeah. Cleveland was not, but no, that's the story. How much is going to translate to the postseason. Good job, Jordan Kitchens. Everybody's favorite bougie Holy Cross Tiger.
Monday, we're at Walk-Ons in Brule. For Jimmy, for Jordan, I'm Charles Henniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Drive a European vehicle?
All right, you guys have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too, Jordan. Thank you.
Years in business. That's a full decade worth of period.